once again, what's up, replay viewers? Let's see who tunes on in. Ramona out there in North Carolina, first one in the room, and Oleg Zigniew, welcome. Good to see you. Nebul in the south of France, and Activity 79 in Sweden. Robert T. and Brian Bell, welcome. Good to see you. Walks in Camera in London. Good to see you, Michelle. Good to see you, Amtrak 160. Good to see you, Jair Explores. Good to see you there, Julie Beatings, for liking the new stream. Lisa UK girl, welcome. Good to see you, Cyclone Joe, welcome. Welcome everyone to the Queens Museum. Let's get into it, guys. Let's just get right into it. Let's get right into it. Good to see you there, Jack. Got some really cool, weird art in here. I wish I could show it to you guys, but I am gonna upload a video. Good to see you, Sally Sipico, welcome. Look at this, guys. Are you guys ready? The panorama of New York City. Let's do it. The world's largest architectural scale model. Thank you so much there, Julie B. Aberdeen. Good to see you out there in Aberdeen. Good to see you, Dave in Dartmouth. Look at this. Good to see you, Adriana. Welcome. Nightfall here in the model. Nightfall. Thank you so much, CB Earth Day. Michelle King, welcome. Look at this. Look at this. The world's largest architect. Look, we even have pictures now. This is what it was like. This is the conceptual rendering of it, and then this is like a viewing area for the model. And then here's the ride and the room we're in. Oh, so cool. And Phyllis 2284, good to see you. And Nebul with a €5 super chat. Nebul, thank you so much for the €5 super chat, and thank you so much for the $20 PayPal. Much, much, much appreciated with a big €5 super chat. That is much appreciated there, Nebul. Much, much, much appreciated. Claudia Ornamentri, welcome. I have to be quiet in here because we're inside the museum. But Manhattan, right up there. This is Brooklyn. I'm actually right above where I live. I live right there. I live right here. This is the west. This is Seagate and Coney Island. This is the Coney Island, the amusement district over there, and then Bay Ridge, the Verizon Bridge right over there. Good to see you, Strawberry Fields. Welcome. This is the world's largest architectural scale model. It's nighttime right now on the model. We got some ASMR today. Some ASMR. Let's fly around the model here. We'll get to these screens here in a bit that show us some of the history of the model. Good to see you, Donna. Welcome. In this room, the United Nations had its first meetings in this room. In this room, the partition of Israel was created, and also UNICEF was born in this building, in this room. This is where the United Nations used to meet before the Secretary building was created and built out in Midtown Manhattan on 42nd Street. Just in time, Darlene, good to see you. This is one of my favorite things to show on the live stream. This never gets old, looking at this amazing model. We're over Staten Island, and we're gonna come back over Brooklyn. And we're directly above the Statue of Liberty. Statue of Liberty is right here. Look at this. There it is. There's our Statue of Liberty. And Ellis Island right there. Look how tiny the Statue of Liberty is. Yeah, Nebul, did you enjoy this? Look at that. Here's the Statue of Liberty right there. The model is a 1:1000 scale. So for every 100 feet in real life, it's 1 inch on the model. Got the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center here in the model. So we're looking at Lower Manhattan, Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge, Williamsburg Bridge. This is the East River, and to the bottom of the screen is the Hudson River. Good to see you, Dave in Bangor, Maine. Welcome. The entire model was last updated in 1992, but some additions have been made since there. Brooklyn Bridge Park has been added to the model. Also, Citi Field and the new Yankee Stadium are on the model. That's Red Hook, Brooklyn, Brooklyn Heights, that's Dumbo, Prospect Park, Greenwood Cemetery, Sunset Park and Sunset Park, Brooklyn, right here. Bay Ridge is back over here. Dyker Heights, Bensonhurst and Gravesend, Coney Island, Sheepshead Bay, way up there, Breezy Point and the Rockaways, Reese Park and the Gil Hodges Bridge, the Rockaways, Jamaica Bay. It's all right here. Like Williamsburg there, Jay. There's Williamsburg right there. So this is the Williamsburg Bridge, and that's Williamsburg, and then Greenpoint right up there. Good to see you, Stephanie Gray. Welcome. Every time I come in here, I feel like I'm 11 years old, like the first time I ever seen this. See Central Park up there. Can you see the Empire State Building? Let's zoom in on it. Let's zoom in on the Midtown skyline. Empire State Building's there. None of the buildings of Billionaires Row are on the model. And if you look really close, as I pan the camera down, you could just see the Highline Park. Good to see you, Mary McHugh. Welcome. So technically, we're seeing the city from an altitude of 10,000 feet. Look, we were there yesterday. That's Washington Square Park. Look at Washington Square Park right there. We were there yesterday. But you really get a real idea of how big the city is. And this is only the 5 boroughs, so you don't see Long Island, and, well, you don't see Nassau County, you don't see Westchester or anything in New Jersey. Good to see you, NYC girl. Welcome. Good to see you, I Love the 80s. Welcome. How many virtual days we're going to be in the model? Let's see. How many days are going to pass by in the model? We'll see. So where I'm walking is roughly the ramp where the virtual helicopter ride used to run. Yeah, it's pretty cool, Darlene. Strawberry Fields, I always feel like a kid when I enter this room. Every time I come in here, I get the same feeling as I did when I first saw this. I was 11 years old the first time I saw this. I came out here for geography class, and I want to thank Dr. Quinn, Mr. Quinn, for taking us out here. But the model is very highly detailed. But now we're above, this is the George Washington Bridge, Harlem, and Washington Heights. Again, Central Park. This is Inwood in Manhattan, the Cloisters right there, the medieval collection of the Metropolitan Museum of Art. And then this is the Harlem River. The Harlem River takes us right down there to the Hell Gate. Randall's and Ward's Island is right there. And then this is all the Bronx right here. Travis Smith, are you enjoying this? Me too. Natasha, this is amazing. The new Yankee Stadium is right here. Yeah, there was a great exhibit called Never Built in New York City, superimposed on the model. It was incredible. There's the new Yankee Stadium. And yes, we're walking on New Jersey right now. We are walking on New Jersey. As we go up here, you're going to see Bronx Park here, and that's North and South Brother Island. Rikers Island is the larger island right there. That's where the prison is. And then just beyond that, LaGuardia Airport. And if you look just beyond that, you can see where we are. You can see the Unisphere off in the distance there. That's where we are. We're technically in that view right there. This model is so cool. I never get bored of this thing. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the actual audio from the ride set up for the live stream today. But if you go to the Queens Museum's website, you could listen to the original audio track that you would hear as you rode in a helicopter, a simulated helicopter ride around New York City. Absolutely, GM Chris. Yeah, we've been here many times on YouTube, many times on Periscope. I think we were here about, what, 2 months ago on YouTube. But now we're back. All right, so now we're at right above Central Park here. The Upper West Side is to the bottom of the screen, Upper East Side to the top of the screen. And then Morningside Heights, Harlem, East Harlem, all in that shot. That's right, Nibble. That's right. Now again, none of the towers of Billionaires Row are in the model. Hopefully one day they'll update the whole thing again. But it is cool seeing that pre-Billionaires Row skyline. And Worldwide Plaza is a bit inaccurate. There's Worldwide Plaza. I don't know why they have some big tall buildings in the back of Worldwide Plaza, but there are. Jack asks, are there new buildings in Coney Island in the model? No, they're not. No, they're not. John Katsimatidis did not commission a model for his new building. A lot of buildings are not on the model. Again, the entire model was updated in 1992. That was the last time the entire model was updated. There have been some additions like Brooklyn Bridge Park, Citi Field, Yankee Stadium, but a lot of buildings are missing. Look at Long Island City right here. That whole skyline is completely different. The only tall building you see in Long Island City in the model here is the, back then it was called the Citicorp building. But there are a lot of buildings missing from right there in Long Island City. Good to see a Rouge show. It's like we never left, that's right. I think the sun's going down again on the model. Also, a lot of buildings were missing from Roosevelt Island. A lot of buildings were built since 1992 on Roosevelt Island, and you could see that today. Walks in Camera, that's one of my favorite documentaries. It's the 8-hour documentary about Worldwide Plaza. When I went to documentary filming class in Brooklyn College, I watched that documentary and obsess over it. I miss the fact that it's not on YouTube anymore. I used to watch that thing all the time. You want to see Williamsburg? Williamsburg's right here. So this is Greenpoint. And then Williamsburg is right here. And then you see the Williamsburg Bridge. So how do they get inside? You could actually access the model from underneath. There's a crawl space underneath, and you could individually take out the panels here and either repair them or just recreate a new panel. All the statistics for the model are in the description below, but it's like 300 panels or something like that create the model. You bought the book? Nice. Yeah, Queens is vastly different. The coastline of Williamsburg, as we're looking at right now, is vastly different. Lower East Side towards the bottom of the screen. Now coming into the center of the screen is the Brooklyn Navy Yard, Wallabout Bay. And then you have Dumbo, Manhattan and Brooklyn bridges coming into view. And you see downtown Brooklyn, a lot of new buildings are missing in downtown Brooklyn too. A lot of the downtown Brooklyn skyline, just like the Long Island City skyline, very young, not even 5-6 years old. And of course, the most important part of the model, the Twin Towers are still on the model. Marvin Engel wants to see the Rockaways, Far Rockaway. Well, we're on the other side of the model at the moment, Marvin, but I'll show you it from this vantage point. So there is Jamaica Bay, and Far Rockaway is way out there. When we get above Far Rockaway, I'll zoom in closer. But right now we're on the far end of the model. So Ramona, Robert Moses commissioned this model himself. He had final say to approve each section of the model. So the people who are working, some 300 people created this model. They were all very nervous that Robert Moses would reject their work. So they were working under a very stressful situation from what I've read. No, it was less than that, Nebel. We were here I think we were here about 2 months ago. Not that long ago. Good to see you, Arjan. Welcome. Okay, the sun's going down on the model. Yes, indeed. Well, this model was basically a celebration of all of the work Robert Moses did around New York City. This is your first time seeing the model. Nice. Are there any plans to develop this panorama? I don't know, Oleg. I really don't know. Neil, good to see you. Hello again. Leela, I love this too. Yes, indeed. The Statue of Liberty is 1 inch, 7/8 tall. Barely 2 inches. Oh, there comes the moonlight now coming over the model. We actually, on yesterday's live stream, we started at the World Trade Center, and then we kind of made our way up the west side here. This is Pier 40. And if you look really close, you could see the Highline Park beginning here at 14th Street. Remember that what is today the Highline Park used to be a freight rail track. Can you see it? Look at that. There's the Highline. The Highline's right there, snaking its way up the west side. Good to see you, RJ. Welcome. And that's the Highline Park right there. And obviously, as we get to Hudson Yards, there is nothing at Hudson Yards. It's just a rail. It's a rail yard. That's all it is. There's the audio for the panorama. Thank you so much, Strawberry Fields. Liz Ellie, welcome. Aloha out there in Hawaii. And then we were over here. This is Governor's Island right here. And even some of these buildings right there in Governor's Island, they don't exist anymore. These are the hills of Governor's Island right there. And then you can see the Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island right there. Liz, good to see you out there in the United Kingdom. The 34th Street extension is still closed too. Yeah, no, the 34th Street's not here, yeah. It's not here on the model. Well, it is, technically it is on the model. 34th Street's right there. And the avenues go through it too. Better than a drone? Yeah. Way better than a drone. But if there's anything you know, probably the most exciting part of the model is the World Trade Center. If you've never seen the World Trade Center in person, it's a great idea to see how big they were on our skyline. You could really get an idea of how domineering those buildings were. Let's come around here. Brian Davis, good to see you. Welcome. Brian, me too. I love showing the panorama. We're now over Staten Island. I am directly above. This is the Fresh Kills landfill. And today this will be a park. And then this big blob over here, this is the Staten Island Mall right there. Bob B, welcome. Isn't this model awesome? Still today, the world's largest architectural scale model. Still to this day. Shanghai comes pretty close with its architectural scale model, but Shanghai's model is at a different scale. So you actually don't see as much of Shanghai as you do of New York City by square miles. Where's Paul Castellano's house? I have no idea. I don't know where the mafia people are. I'll show you my neighborhood. So here we are. To think I traveled from here. I traveled from right about here. I took the bus to Stillwell Avenue. Then I took the N train through Brooklyn, through Manhattan, transferred to the 7 train at Queensboro Plaza, and then I took the 7 train all the way across to there. That's why it took 2 hours to get here for me. The model was originally built in 1964 for the 1964-65 World's Fair. We're inside the New York City Pavilion. And yeah, this was the centerpiece of the New York City Pavilion. This is the scale model of the city called the Panorama. First built in 1963. It was on display from 1964-65 and then kept on display here at the Queens Museum. And the entire model was last updated in its totality in 1992. Yeah, exactly. Strawberry. The distances are crazy. Donna Lynn, good to see you. The panorama is always a treat. So now, Manhattan, the Bronx, Staten Island, this is all of Brooklyn, Queens is up here, and then this is the Rockaways right here. Floyd Bennett Field is right there. This is Breezy Point and Roxbury. These are the two cooperative communities that are on the western tip of the Rockaways. Then we have Fort Tilden. That's where I go to the beach. And then up here, this is Reese Park. And then the Rockaways are all up here. Far Rockaway is way up there. We're gonna get closer to that in a moment. But exactly, remember how you saw this when you left JFK? JFK is right up here. This is JFK Airport, right up there. But it was quite the trip, Susan. To think I traveled from here all the way to here. Yeah, I kind of went across the entire city. So I want to thank everyone who's been donating today and leaving all the super chats and all that. It is really much appreciated because I get to spend 4 hours on the train today. So thank you. But Floyd Bennett Field right here, this is Jamaica Bay, and in the middle of Jamaica Bay we have this community right there that's called Broad Channel. That is the only community in the middle of Jamaica Bay. And then we have Neponsit, Bell Harbor, And then we have Rockaway and then Far Rockaway. But Jeanette, I love the panorama. I never get older. And yes, we can see the parachute jump, but it's very tiny on the model nibble, so you gotta have to look close. Let's zoom in on the amusement district. Josh, have we ever been out to Far? I've never live streamed from Far Rockaway. I've live streamed from the regular Rockaways. I've live streamed in the Rockaways. I've live streamed from about here, going all the way to about here to 108th Street, but I've never gone this far on the live stream. NYC girl, you're more than welcome. But now let's zoom in on the amusement district of Coney Island. And if you look close, you can see the parachute jump. You can see more of the shadow of the parachute jump than the actual parachute jump. Near the bottom of the screen is the New York Aquarium. And then if you know where to look, you can see the Cyclone and you can see the original Thunderbolt. And I don't know if you can see it. You can see the shadow of it. You can see the parachute jump. It's actually in clear plastic, the parachute jump. Julie B., you're more than welcome. Exactly. Manhattan seems so big, but then when you see it in the context of the whole city, yeah, it's kind of small. Okay, let's really zoom in on the amusement district. Look at this, guys. Got the Stillwell Avenue subway station, the Luna Park houses, and then look at that. You can see the Cyclone, the original Thunderbolt, all the little rides down there. Hey, can you see the parachute jump? How cool is that? You're more than welcome, April. Yes, it is, Richard. Yes, it is. Far Rockaway is definitely beginning to build up. That's actually a new hotel in the Rockaways that I want to see. I want to stay at. Isn't this cool though? I always feel like I did when I first saw this. Whenever I see this model, I feel like I'm 11 years old all over again. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with micro machines, and when I came in here, it's all I could think about is playing with my micro machines in this model. Even though micro machines are way too big for the scale of the model, but look at the detail is incredible. Again, the live stream does not do this justice. It really doesn't. As we look across Brooklyn and Queens, look at that World Trade Center. Look at those Twin Towers. Look at that. Again, if you never saw the Twin Towers in real life, this is the best way you get to see it. You really get an idea of how much the Twin Towers dominated the skyline. And we're looking right across. We got a little park near the bottom of the screen. That's Fort Greene Park. Fort Greene Park, downtown Brooklyn, and the Manhattan and Brooklyn bridges. Manhattan Bridge will be to the right. Brooklyn Bridge is pretty much just off to the left there. We're almost like lined up with the Brooklyn Bridge right now. Good to see you, John Laura. Welcome. It's Polly Pocket scale. That's right, it's Polly Pocket scale. That's more appropriate. How incredible is that? And then now we're above JFK here. JFK Airport, formerly known as Idlewild Airport. We actually have the today the TWA Hotel. That terminal is in the model because what is today the TWA Hotel was a brand new terminal back in 64, 65. It's right here. Look at that. There's the what was today the TWA Hotel right there. The Pan Am Worldport is in this shot here. But there's Terminal City right there. Yeah, there's one in London, but it's not the same scale. Exactly, it's not the same scale. I think London is a little bit larger also. Like, so like the buildings are larger, so thus the actual land area that the model represents is a lot smaller. Like I said, Shanghai has a similar model, but it's nothing on the scale of this model. As the sun begins to go down once again on the model. Yeah, watching the build must have been amazing, yeah. I mean, it is just incredible. Marvin also lived in Canarsie, which is right there. That's Canarsie. Did you watch the Concorde land at JFK? The last time I saw I got to see the Concorde take off for the last time from JFK, and I watched that from right here. So this is the Cross Bay. This is Cross Bay Boulevard and the Cross Bay Bridge, and there's a little parking lot right there. And I watched the Concorde take off from this runway here, and then make a big, wide left-hand turn over the Jamaica Bay. Oh, it was so cool. You used to watch the Concorde take off from your office? Yeah. Oh my God. I'm happy we got to experience that. As the sun goes down on the model, so as you see, the parks light up. They're fluorescent. They have black lights that light up the windows in the buildings and light up the parks and parkways. Manny Explorers, good to see you. Welcome to the Queens Museum. Oh my God, right? You remember the sonic? I don't think we heard the sonic boom, but we heard like a subsonic rumble. But the Concorde was something else. Oh my God. I want to fly around the world in the Concorde on the live stream. You used to watch the Concorde take off from your office in London. Wow, that's awesome. How dark that is in the wide angle. Yes, they are UV. Yes, it's a black light. Yeah, they're UV lights. Sun's coming back up on the model. Great view of the Twin Towers from here. So this is Queens. This is the Newtown Creek, and this separates Long Island City from Greenpoint in Brooklyn. Then Greenpoint, Williamsburg, Bushwick is off in this direction here, and then Ridgewood is way out here. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed, Ramona. A little plane takes off and lands from a LaGuardia Airport. Good to see you enjoying Nantucket. Welcome. It does prove how big New York City is. Yes, it does. This is still the world's largest architectural scale model. Still to this day. So for for 60 years? For 60 years, this is the world's largest architectural scale model. So here is LaGuardia Airport. My favorite part of the model is the little plane that takes off and lands from LaGuardia. How cool is that? There he goes. Took off. Strawberry Fields asks, what do I miss about New York other than the Twin Towers? What do I miss about the old New York? I don't know. I mean, when it comes to the Twin Towers, when they were still like up, I actually didn't like them. I thought they were very domineering on the skyline. But in the summer of 2001, right before we lost those buildings, I remember I got to experience a sunrise on the Brooklyn Bridge, and the towers glowed like two big gold bars on the skyline. And it was really cool, and I'll never forget that moment. I think that was like August or July 2001. And that's when I kind of fell in love with the buildings, because it was sculpture, it was art. Isn't that cool? Yeah, everything's very detailed. It is very, very accurate. They went to fire insurance maps to kind of get a rough guesstimation on the shape of the buildings. The original buildings in the model were kind of made of like a balsa wood. So, but some of the newer additions to the model are made from 3D printed plastic. $895,000 buildings are recreated on this model. As we go up the East River here, you got Empire State Building right up there, and you got Midtown, and there's Central Park, and then there is the Queensboro 59th Street Bridge. You had your engagement brunch at Windows of the World. Wow. But look at that. None of the buildings of today's Long Island City are even on the model here. Only that Citicorp building, which was in 1992 when they last updated the model. Very new. I think that building was maybe a year or two old at that point. It took almost 2 years. I think it took almost 2 years to build it. I think it took almost 2 years to build the model. It took a very long time. We go through Queens here, and then we're gonna come up to where we're at. So there is LaGuardia, and then we follow the Flushing Bay, and there's the new City Field where the Mets play, and you can see the Billie Jean King Tennis Center and Arthur Ashe Stadium, and there it is. That's where we're at. We're inside that little rectangular building just to the left-hand side of the Unisphere. You can see the Unisphere there. We walked all of this today. And even the original amphitheater, the Aqua Theater, is still on the model here. It is a piece of art. Yes, it is. But again, like I mentioned earlier, the last time the entire model was updated was in 1992. So there was really no skyline to speak of over in Long Island City. Which is, let's go back over to Long Island City here. Look at that, it's like nothing. There's nothing over there in Long Island City. I mean, this skyline has dramatically changed. There's nothing. I mean, that's the Long Island City I remember as a kid. Old warehouses, and that's where I went to a couple of really good illegal raves in the 90s in Long Island City. But if you've never visited the Queens Museum, I highly recommend this. And it's free. It's a suggested donation to visit the Queens Museum. So you could visit this museum for absolutely free. And again, I highly recommend it, especially if you're visiting the city. If you're visiting New York for the first time, this gives you a really good perspective on how big New York is. Yeah, Long Island City wasn't even on the map in the early 80s, exactly. It was an industrial area. The Whitestone and Throgs Neck bridges, And then this is the Long Island Sound right here. Rikers Island, North and South Brother Island. This is all the Bronx. Then you got Upper Manhattan, Inwood, Washington Heights, Harlem. Good to see you, Robertson Lopes. Welcome. There you go, Liz. Yeah, good memories. Yeah, learn more about the museum and maybe plan a trip. Visit queensmuseum.org. Claudia, when you visit New York, you have to come out here and check this out. If you've never, and again, guys, I cannot tell you, the live stream does not do this justice. It really doesn't. You have to see this for yourself. Jamaica Bay, Breezy Point, Neponset, the Rockaways, Reese Park. Then Coney Island is all up here. Coney Island and Coney Island's on this side here. Coney Island and Coney Island Creek are right over there. And then this side here, that's Sheepshead Bay. And then this right here, that is Floyd Bennett Field. Canarsie is right here. Well, actually, this is this is right here. This is Howard Beach. Howard Beach, the Hole, everybody. The Hole of a very crazy neighborhood is right about here. The Hole is right about here. Or actually, no, the Hole is right there. There's the Hole. The lowest neighborhood in all of New York City. Starrett City. And then up here, that's Canarsie. Yeah, I know. You just have to travel out here. Exactly. And again, when I come here, I really get a kick out of how far I traveled. I started there, and I'm way up here. I'm way up here right now. It takes me 2 hours to get here. Yeah, Liz, you got to see this in person, Liz. So now we're over Queens. So New York QT asks, where is Long Island? Well, Queens and Brooklyn are Long Island. So a lot of people don't realize Brooklyn and Queens are a part of Long Island. Now, most people assume that only Nassau County and Suffolk County are Long Island. And no, don't forget, there's Brooklyn and Queens. This is the westernmost tip of Long Island. Nassau County, it's that black area right there. Nassau County is not clear. Nothing that's not a part of New York City. If it's not a part of the 5 boroughs, it is not in the model. So, but yeah, Nassau County. Yeah, we're right above Aqueduct. Here's Aqueduct. This is the UBS Arena is not there at the moment, as you can see. Oh, yeah, that's Aqueduct right there. Cami G, you're more than welcome. But there's Aqueduct. Belmont Park is actually not on the model. Belmont Park is not on the model. Belmont Park will be like right here. Belmont Park is technically in Nassau County. It's right on the border of Queens and Nassau County. So thus it's not on the model. Oh, New York QT's in Nassau County. Yeah, that's in that black area right there. And then behind the wall, that's Nassau County. Yeah, nothing beyond New York City exists, like in real life. If you want to really trigger me as a live streamer, label your live stream live from New York City and then broadcast from Nassau County. And New Jersey is the wall. Yeah, New Jersey is the wall. Get a little sliver of black over there. Phyllis, you want to see Central Park? We'll follow the plane up into the sky. And you see, that's Bronx. That's the Bronx. And you can see Yankee Stadium. And then up there, there's the George Washington Bridge. And then we make our way south. And then here it is. There's Central Park right there. There is Central Park. Westchester is not a part of New York City. So thus, it is not on the model. So we have the Bronx, and then you have a little sliver of Westchester that's in black. But Westchester is not on the model, and Westchester is not a part of New York City. And again, the Unisphere is right there. Let's zoom in on the Unisphere. That's where we are right now. And that's where we walked around earlier today. There's a little Unisphere right down there as the sun goes down on the model once again. Due north would be in this direction here. So north, south, sorry, this is north, south, east, west. We're directly above Kennedy Airport. There's Kennedy right there. We're directly above it right now. You can even see, let's get to this other vantage point over here. You could even see where the TWA Hotel is, that beautiful terminal that was created. I believe that terminal was completed in 1963. But it's right there. Oh, as the sun goes down on the model. Can't see it right now because the sun went down, but that's the TWA Hotel right there, that little crescent building. The black light, the UV lights bringing up all of the parks and parkways. As the moonlight once again takes over the model. And we'll do, let's go to the other side of the model and let's walk all the way around the model one last time. And then I'll show you one more thing in the style of Columbo. We do have one more thing to see. Yes, blue lights were police. Green lights were, I believe, right? Hospitals and schools. And the red lights were firehouses. And that was a part of the original presentation that you got in the virtual helicopter ride. King's Plaza is on the model. It's right here. There's King's Plaza right there. There's King's Plaza right there in the center of the screen. And we've live streamed there many times. Again, let's come around the model here. Let's come around and come on the other side. Oh yeah, greens were school. That's right, green lights were the schools. Blue were police. Red was hospital. And yellow, I believe, was hospitals. I like how this section of Staten Island was, we just walk right over it. Yes, the TWA Hotel was designed by Eero Saarinen. Beautiful, beautiful architecture. Oh, you confused now, John? Sorry about that. All right, we'll come around the model, and then we'll show you one more thing. Everyone walks all over it. All right, so now we're starting here once again. Inwood, the Bronx, the George Washington Bridge. There's the George Washington Bridge right there. And look at how the only highway to cut across Manhattan right there. And imagine living in those apartment buildings directly above the highway. I don't think it's very pleasant, but who knows? You can even see that water tower. The High Bridge is right here. This is the High Bridge. That is the aqueduct right there. That's the original Croton aqueduct system right there that brought the water into Manhattan Island. And we're looking from Washington Heights downtown. You can see a little bit of Morningside Park. And then there's Central Park right there as we look downtown towards Lower Manhattan. Captain Sullenberg landed his plane. Captain Sullenberg landed his plane right about there. About 42nd Street and the Hudson River. That's where Sully landed, right there. They want to enclose the, yeah, I heard about that. They want to enclose the Cross Bronx Expressway. It's right here. Let's follow the Cross Bronx here. So you have George Washington Bridge. You cut across Manhattan. And then this is the Cross Bronx Expressway. Right here. Goes all the way across the island there. A lot of destruction for the Cross Bronx Expressway. Central Park, Harlem, East Harlem. And yeah, Captain Sullenberg knew that it was better to land on the Hudson than in New Jersey. And technically we could actually see Captain Sullenberg's flight. He took off from LaGuardia here, went over the Bronx, and then he hit the birds, and then he kind of flew down the Hudson River, coming right past George Washington Bridge, and then he landed right there, about right here. Yeah, John, this never gets old. Susan Berry used to live in the Upper East or Upper West Side in a brownstone. Well, okay, they're two different neighborhoods, but Upper West Side is down here. Upper East Side is up here. And then the Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis Reservoir right there. The Great Lawn, the Ramble, the lake, the Kate Wallman Rink, all right there. As we fly back over Midtown, and you get all the buildings of Midtown here. All the buildings of Midtown. Look at that Empire State Building. Look at that. And you could even see Madison Square Park. Can you guys see the Flatiron Building? The Flatiron Building is in the shot. Hanging out right there. Look at that. And we'll see where he got lost. Somewhere in that big green rectangle. Really get a cool view of Madison Square Park here. Yeah, John Lord, it is pretty amazing how much of the city we've been lucky to see. You see Bryant Park there? Let's see Bryant Park. Let's go uptown a little bit. There's Empire State Building right there. And then Bryant Park is going to be right about, let's see, where is it? Right there. There's Bryant Park. And you can see the library. You can see the library right there too. There's Bryant Park and the library right down there. And you can see MSG is right here. Madison Square Garden. Look at how big Hudson Yards rail yard is. It's massive. And then that goes into Penn Station, which is underneath Madison Square Garden. There's Madison Square Garden. And again, if you know where to look, you can see the Highline Park. So you see, we have this little structure right here that goes down through the buildings. This is the High Line right here. This is the, even got a little train there, still on the High Line. Look at that. Got a little freight train on there. Let's follow the High Line here. Look at that. It goes right down there. Look at how it just cuts through all those buildings. Good to see you, Luis Jose. Wepa, Puerto Rico. There's the High Line right there. Is the smallpox hospital on Roosevelt Island? Yes, it is. I will show you that. We just went all the way down the High Line. And she wants to see the smallpox hospital. Let's zoom in on Roosevelt Island. And there is the smallpox hospital right there. If you know where to look, it's right there. That is pre-1992, so everything from 1992 and before is on the model. So again, the entire model was last updated in 1992. So Queensboro Bridge right there. And look at that detail on the Queensboro. Absolutely amazing. Isn't that cool? Again, one last view of Lower Manhattan, Governor's Island. Downtown Brooklyn is right up here. Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge, Williamsburg Bridge. That's Red Hook, Brooklyn. That is Greenwood Cemetery and Prospect Park. And then we have our Statue of Liberty and Ellis Island right there. Here's our statue. How cool is that? Again, the live stream doesn't do this justice. It's just so cool. The live stream never does this justice. So now we're coming into New York Harbor, the Verizon Bridge, Staten Island, right over there. And then this is all of Brooklyn, Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, Dyker Heights, Bensonhurst, Coney Island, Seagate, Manhattan Beach, and Sheepside Bay. You want to see the Domino's Sugar Factory? That's over here in Williamsburg. And you gotta have to look close, but the Domino's Sugar Factory is on the model because that is pre-1992. But it's gonna be right next. There it is, right next to the Williamsburg Bridge. There's the Domino Sugar Factory, just off to the left-hand side of the bridge. Good to see you, Marty. Welcome. There is the Domino Sugar Factory. And I think we still have the holding tanks in Greenpoint. I got to see these holding tanks implode. All right, let's see if we could see them. All right, they're right here. They're right up there. BN, good night. Good night, BN, good night. Can you see the Christmas lights in Diker Heights? Yeah. Oh, wait, no, they're the holding tanks. I knew I was looking at the wrong thing. Those are the holding tanks of Greenpoint. Right there. They imploded those 2 tanks right there. Those are the holding tanks right there. The old holding tanks of Greenpoint. Got to see those imploded. It's a shame I took video of it, but it's on the VHS tape. And there's Red Hook. Red Hook is right here as the sun goes down on the model. As the sun goes down on the model. I miss those tanks too. Bill, I'm glad you enjoy this. Me too. MS, good to see you. Welcome. It's already coming up to 4 o'clock here in New York. Got to hang out here in the model for another 10 minutes or so. And then I'm going to show you one more thing. The tanks held natural gas, Ed Allen, natural gas. Let's get one last view. As the sun goes down, we'll get one last view here of Manhattan in the dark. And then in the nighttime here. Look at this, look how cool this looks. And I gotta use the 1x lens because that brings up the low light here. And you get to see this moonlight now come up on the model. Yes, indeed, John. Yes, indeed. Nick, at this point, there's no word on whether they're going to update the entire model because they like how the model is at its current moment. It's kind of like a mix of the old New York with the new New York. So, you know, I think stuff is going to be periodically updated, and they might update the whole model, but that is yet to be determined. Yes, all the green space is illuminated, yes. The green space, all of the housing projects, all have certain colors. Also, the parkways all have lit up certain colors to let us know where they are. It really is a testament to all the work Raura Moses has done around New York City. But it is mesmerizing, yeah. Yes, indeed, as we enjoy dawn, as the sun comes up on the model. Good to see you, Prophet Joshua. Blessing you too. Thank you so much for tuning on in. And again, Brooklyn Bridge Park, they updated some parts of the map because they paid for it. So the idea right now, Richard, is that the World Trade Center is not going to be replaced on the model until the entire new complex is completed. And the idea is that they'll have the original Twin Towers model on display here in this room, and then you know, they'll have the new buildings on the model. But as for now, there's no timetable on whether they're going to install it. Rune Sand. The the original buildings on the model from 1964 are made of like balsa wood, and then newer buildings on the model, newer parts of the model like Brooklyn Bridge Park, that's made of plastic, like a 3D plastic. The bridges are all made of plastic. So it's like balsa wood and plastic create the model. as we fly over Staten Island. One last time. I'm gonna show you guys one more thing. And I want to save a little bit of Gimble battery because I want you guys to see a sunset here here in Flushing Meadows. Balsa wood and plastic for the most part. The attention to detail is ridiculous. Look at that. That's so cool. Now they have a nice little interactive exhibit here, which pin your story on the panorama. That's kind of cool. They have pictures of the panorama when it was being fabricated and all that stuff. That's pretty cool. That's my home. I get to go back there. It's all of Brooklyn, looking towards Manhattan. So the red buildings are housing projects. And again, this model was meant to kind of show off all of the public works Robert Moses championed. And so the red buildings are public housing projects and housing co-ops, like very large building developments. And one last view here of I'll show you JFK again one more time. And that beautiful TWA, the TWA terminal. And also the original Pan Am terminals on the map. On the model. There's the TWA terminal right there. That crescent-shaped building. And then the old Pan Am terminal is this building right here, the one with the kind of a oval shape there. Yeah, urban renewal they called it, exactly. All the red buildings are all the urban renewal projects here in New York City. You know, after living in the West End of Coney Island, I don't know if it could really be called urban renewal, but you know. Yes, indeed, Cammy. Yes, indeed. Okay, we'll see this little plane land for the last time here on the model. To think we have been in here for an hour now, guys. We have been in this room for an hour. The plane lands, and then we're gonna watch it take off. There it goes. How cool is that? That always amazes me. I know it's a little piece of plastic or metal on like string, but it's just so cool. Good to see you, Kirk. Welcome. If you like this nonsense, make sure you subscribe. It's a lot of fun showing you guys these little places of New York here. All right, we're gonna fly around. We're gonna head up to the Altitude of 10,000 feet now. It is just really cool seeing this. This never gets old. It is the coolest. And nice little small details. Now, this will give you an idea of how small or big the model is. We have here a representation of the buildings here on the model. So this is the same scale as the model, and this is how big the Empire State Building is, how big my hand is. But there you go. The panorama. The panorama of New York City. So now we're looking from the north towards the south. The Bronx, Manhattan, Central Park right there, Staten Island, Brooklyn, and Queens. Exactly, John. No, you just keep on watching. It's mesmerizing. Yep, it was urban removal. That's true. All right, guys, one more thing. Little bonus now for you guys. A little bonus area before we get out of here. I'll show you a little bonus area here. All right. So now, welcome to visible storage. And here we have all of the artifacts from not one, but two World's Fairs. 1964, 65, and 1939, 1940 World's Fairs. Look at all these cool memorabilia and artifacts here. That's why you wanna come out here and see this. Look at the Trilon of Paris sphere. Ooh, Elsie the cow. Cow. And this is all from the 39 fair right here. They got some new stuff on display here, it looks like. They keep on changing this, which is just so freaking cool. And we got more stuff on display over here. Oh, I want that. I want this. I want that lighter. Oh man, these are all souvenirs and knickknacks from both of the World's Fairs. And then probably the coolest thing, an entire model of the 64 fair. So this model here was shown to people when they were gonna rent space at the 1964-65 World's Fair. And once their development got finalized, they were placed in the model. This model is the same scale as the panorama in the next room. So let's show you one last time what we did today on this afternoon's or this morning's live stream. We started from right here. We made our way down and then across. Made our way over here to the Fountain of the Planets. Walked back down to the Unisphere, walked down and around to the Olmsted Circle, which is right here. Then we came out, came on to Flushing, and then we came back, and then we kind of walked up, over here, we went around here, we went through here, went around here, went up here, went all the way up to there, then back. And then that's what we did today. So we've done so much. Look at the Fountain of the Planets. It is free to visit, Lisa. It's free to visit. Suggested donation to visit this museum. we're in this building right here. Look, you can see the Port Authority right there, and we saw that was Terrace in the Park, and we're right here. Well, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun, showing you guys all of this cool memorabilia here. You gotta come to Queens Museum and check this out for yourself. So, Mary Lily, good to see you. I want to thank everyone who has joined us today. I think I'm going to be on in a few minutes. We're going to go outside and watch our sunset of the Unisphere. So join me in a few minutes, and I think we'll be back live again. But if not, thank you guys so much for joining me today. And from the Queens Museum, this is Dutch Moss signing off. Have a fantastic Queens day, whether you live here or not. Hug your loved ones, cherish moments. And good afternoon, good evening, and good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are. I'll see you guys soon, folks. Take care. See you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.